What's up, dudes? This is Randy from the Hassieverse, and today we're going to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Now, I just came back from watching it, and I really enjoyed the film. Now, this is not the first time Nintendo's tried to adapt Mario into the big screen. They did it nearly 30 years ago, and it was a live-action starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo as Mario and Luigi. And the movie did bad. It wasn't well received. There was a lot of problems, not just on the movie itself, but behind the scenes as well, to the point to where both stars just completely gave up. There was just a comedy of errors, from the directors to just the set people. It was a complete disaster, and you can find plenty of videos or articles talking about the tragedy that is this Super Mario Brothers movie. And that film actually grew up to become a cult classic. Now, I still enjoyed the film. I love it just because I was a Mario stan, and as a little kid, I just loved everything Mario. So I still feel that film holds a near and dear piece of my heart, even though I'm very aware that it's bad, and I have the DVD somewhere back there. But this film really spooked Nintendo into making another movie for Mario, or really any IP, since then. And it wasn't until 2017, 2018 to where they announced that they were going to work on a new Mario movie. And I think they just saw the writing on the wall. They know how successful their company is and how big their IP has gotten. And it's just not a surprise that they would actually try again. I honestly feel it was just too very long to do this. But seeing how successful the Sonic movie has become and some of the other video game films like Detective Pikachu, I think it really told them that they could probably make some success. But I don't think they even envisioned how successful it would be. The Mario Brothers film in 1993 was the first video game adaptation, and Nintendo really wanted to do it right, but they didn't really have much control in making that movie, and just a lot of decisions that went into the movie that Nintendo wanted did not really happen, and that's one of the reasons why they really did not enjoy or want to try to go back into making movies. But this time, working with Illumination, who's also known for the Minions movies and Despicable Me, I feel they had a lot of control in making this film. And it really shows when you think about it, because they did a good job at hitting all the points that you need. Now, overall, the Mario series is pretty simple as far as what the storyline is. Mario's a plumber, and his brother Luigi, their goal is to save the princess from Bowser. He's a bad guy. Now, a lot of people have criticisms about this movie and talking about how thin the plot is and or at least how average the voice acting is. And I don't really feel it matters that much, because at the end of the day, it's a video game. The people that are going to watch this are the kids. The kids just want to see Mario. They want to see the Mario Kart. They want to see all the bells and whistles of the series shown in here, and so do the adults who grew up playing the games like myself. So I think coming into it, they really needed to nail that, and I'm honestly surprised how much they got in a 90-minute movie that contains so much lore from the Mario-verse. And it's not just about Mario. I'm talking Donkey Kong, I'm talking Cranky, I'm talking all the power-ups, even from the past to present. I'm talking about just even the levels, I'm talking about the characters. They somehow get it all in, and I really enjoyed that. And I think, the goal of this movie, because it definitely has Shigeru Miyamoto's footprints on it. He wanted to make sure that this movie did what it needed to do, and that was to make sure that everything that we know and love about the Mario-verse is shown in here. And I think they accomplished that. And I think that sets a good foundation for the series, because you don't really need to do much with this story. Make sure you hit your main Easter eggs, keep the plot simple and to the point, which is what we get in our basic Mario games anyways. Just put it into a nice, beautifully animated movie, which they did. The animation in this movie is gorgeous. I really marveled at how well the mushrooms look, even just the characters. They look really great in this animation style, and the CGI was just perfect. It was really good to look at. Now, the voice acting, I would say for the most part, they knew their assignment. There's definitely exceptionalism with Jack Black. Him as Bowser was definitely the star of the show. And like Jim Carrey was for the Sonic movies, Jack Black has brought it for Bowser in the Mario movie. And I can't wait to see more of him in more movies, because we know there's going to be more movies to come. And not just movies, I'm talking TV shows. There's going to be a lot of content on the big and small screen for the Marioverse. It will come, especially how successful this film has become. Now, some of the other standouts, I would say, I like Charlie Day as Luigi. I really liked how he portrayed the quirky and, nervousness of Luigi. I think he matches him pretty brilliantly, to my opinion. And also, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, he did a pretty good job as well as being as Toad, and just having his mannerisms and just his geekiness. So I really enjoyed that. And Anya Taylor-Joy, she did a pretty good job as well as Peach. I don't think there was really any problems on that. Now, we could talk about Mario. And a lot of people were up in arms when they first heard that Chris Pratt was doing Mario, and I'm one included as well. I feel like they could have just got Charles Martinet and then, been done with it. But they wanted to go this route, and I feel like this was more of a decision by Miyamoto and the Nintendo crew, because they wanted someone that was popular, bring butts in seats. Honestly, they could have put anybody in that Mario role, and it would have been just as good. He wasn't bad. I think he was just pretty par for the course. And, that says a lot when you put a lot of money into someone that anyone really could have done it and probably given you that same output. So, while I don't have a problem with what Chris Pratt, how he portrayed Mario, I just feel anyone could have really done that, and they could have saved money on that part. And it's quite a fun little movie. There will be sequels, and there will be spin-offs. We already know there's going to be a Donkey Kong movie coming out. And there's going to be so many other TV shows. I would love to see a Luigi's Mansion. Maybe more of a Mario Kart focus would be interesting. They have so many routes to go. Hopefully we'll get a Yoshi's Island or something like that. There's plenty here for you to enjoy. Anyone that loves Nintendo will enjoy this film. And this is why I wanted to talk about it, because a lot of people are talking how thin the plot is and how they feel like it needed to be more than what it needed to be, when it doesn't. It's simple in its scope. Just make a movie that hits the main points and doesn't really F it up. And I think that's what it does here. Make it a fun movie that kids can watch with their parents, and their parents, who are most likely Nintendo fans as well, will watch and be like, oh yeah, I remember that star, or I remember that mushroom. Those are the things that they wanted to hit on, and I think they hit a home run with it. And as we know now, this movie is marching towards $1 billion at the box office, and it is one of the best box office movies not only this year, but ever, and even for a video game adaptation. And this is just not a surprise to me. I knew it would be big, because it's hard for something of this magnitude to fail. Mario is such a staple in American culture and world culture. Everybody knows who Mario is. Everyone's grew up probably playing at least one Mario game in their lifetime. So everyone would be able to relate and want to see this movie. Even young kids will come in and see this movie. They've probably played a Mario game or two, or even if they haven't, they will soon. So this was really hard to mess up. They really had to kind of pull off one of the biggest epic collapses like they did 30 years ago in order to really make this movie bad. But they didn't. They stayed so safe, and they hit a home run. We're going to see a lot more stuff, and if we've seen anything from the Despicable Me series, is Illumination has taken the Minions and rolled with it, and they are going to do the same with Mario, especially now that they pretty much got the green light they needed, and that is to be the best-selling video game movie of all time. It's kind of ironic and poetic if you think about it, how a movie that Nintendo pioneered and it did so horribly and spooked them for nearly 30 years. Now other movies have come and gone. The moment Nintendo decides to throw their hat in the race again, it becomes a box office juggernaut and is surpassing $1 billion. It just shows you how powerful Nintendo is as a company, and just their IP, how beloved and just solely wanted it is. Just so glad to have been able to revisit this, and now that we see how successful it's been, that we're going to see a lot more of it, and there's nothing really wrong with that. I think it's something that we can all really enjoy. And the other thing I want to point out is this won't be just for Mario now. We're going to see a Zelda movie, maybe a Zelda TV series or a Zelda live action one. Or maybe we'll get that Kirby movie. We're going to see a lot more within the whole Nintendo-verse. Maybe a Splatoon way down the line. Nintendo is on a roll, but things are going to get really big now for Nintendo. This universe can rival the MCU. I think the Nintendo universe is probably the only thing right now on this planet that could rival how successful the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been. And all we can do is see, and I can't wait to stay along on the ride. This is just the first of many, guys, so if you haven't seen the Mario movie, you should definitely go check it out. Now, I want to thank you guys for checking out this video, talking about the Mario movie, and I want you guys to go out and see it in theaters too. And if you like this video and you want to hear more of me talking about stuff, you can click that platypus somewhere there. I don't know where it is, but you can click it somewhere. And enjoy the rest of your day or night or however, and don't forget to stay nerdious.